now that we're in the middle of the shiur, we're going to mention that all this whole shiur is zchut for shalema for all the cholim that are suffering from this coronavirus and all cholim in general, including Yishai Yaniv ben Yafatova, Abayale ben Chayesara, Ofer ben Esther, Yaakov ben Esther, and all the other cholim. Back to we have to finish up some of the halachot of Pesach, and we're going to go through what the seder, the order of the seder. So first, regarding a few halachot regarding makeup, we have to get into these things regarding makeup. So face makeup, there are people that are mahmir, are stringent, that even the makeup should have no chametz in it. Some people are more lenient. There's two different views regarding that. But regarding the lipstick, since that really goes in your mouth, when you're drinking and you're eating, it's in your mouth. So lipstick, one should be stringent and make sure the lipstick has no chametz within it. Regarding using glasses and glassware and cup and these kind of things, so according to Hamavad Yosef, all you have to do is wash them out, and you could use them. There's no kashering that's involved in them, and all you have to do is wash them out. According to the Ashkenazim, you can't kasher them, and therefore Ashkenazim will not use the same glassware. But according to Hamavad, according to the Bet Yosef, one could go ahead and use the same glassware without a problem, and therefore you also hold that you can even kosherize the Purex, the plastic that's put in the oven, those thick plastics. Here's a way to kosherize them by pouring boiling hot water on them 3 times. Regarding a sink that is not made out of metal, is made out of porcelain. So once again, Ashkenazim are stringent. They hold you can't kosherize it. But according to Hamavad Yosef, you could kosherize it by pouring the hot water on it 3 times. Regular sink only needs 1 time. A porcelain sink, it brings down, you should do 3 times. Obviously, all these things means you wait 24, you clean it, wait 24 hours, and then you do then you do all these things. Regarding toothpaste and Listerine and these things, one should be stringent. Remember, anything that goes in your mouth, right? Regular things, we say, okay, it's not royal achilat kelev. It's not edible for an animal to consume. But if you're putting it in your mouth, it's in your mouth. So therefore, you should be a little stringent. But there are a lot of kosher for Passover toothpaste. Just about all Colgates are kosher for Passover. It doesn't need a Jewish certification. There are lists out there. And just to know, there's no chametz ingredients in there. As long as there's no chametz ingredients, then you're going to be fine. Now, regarding the order of the seder, let's just go quickly through it. Let's do a quick run through. So we start off, obviously, if you open up the Agadah, there's an order, but it starts with a Kaddish. Now, Kaddish, on a regular Friday night and a regular Yom Tov night, you can take it in early. Pesach, you're not supposed to, because since the mitzvah to eat matzah and maror is at night, is after Tzeit HaKochavim, therefore, all 4 cups should also be done after Tzeit HaKochavim, which include the first cup that you're going to drink. There's 4 cups. The first cup is the first one of them. So you should do it after nightfall. According to Chamavadia, it's at least 20 minutes after Shkiyah. He says you don't have to wait for Rabbeinu Tam. He says 20 minutes after Shkiyah. Then you can start the first of the kosot. Then you do orchatz. Orchatz, you wash your hands. You do not make a blessing, but you wash your hands because you're doing a dip, right? Then goes kalpas, right? You take the kalpas, which is either going to be celery or there's other shitot. I think there's cilantro, there's potatoes. There's all different shitot. It has to be an adama. You take less than a kazayit. You dip it into either salt water or lemon water or vinegar. Everybody has their own customs. You dip it in and you eat it. You do not have to lean when you're eating the kalpas. The kaddish, you have to lean, and if you didn't lean, you're not yotzeh. If you're a man. If you're a woman, if you didn't lean, you're still going to be yotzeh. Then you have yachatz. You take the middle matzah and you crack it in half. The bigger half you're going to put aside for the afikoman, because that's a remembrance of the korban pesach. So it's put aside for the afikoman, and the smaller half you're going to put back in there. Now it's in the shape of a dalit and a vav. Yeah, the dalit and the vav. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to put the bigger one away, and some people put it on the back, and they say, where are you going? I'm going to Eretz Israel. Everybody has their own customs and what they're doing, but that is the afikoman. Then you have magid. So magid is going to start off with halach ma'anya. Right? By halach ma'anya, you pick up the matzot, the 2 whole ones and the broken one, and you say halach ma'anya. This is the poor man's bread, and you go through the entire thing until you reach the halach, you finish halach manya. When you finish halach manya, you then go ahead and you refill up all the cups. Because you're going to be up to your second cup. But you're not going to drink the cup until all the end of Magid. You then start with Manishtana. Manishtana starts with the youngest kid. Technically, only one kid has to ask. If there is no kid, then your wife asks. If there's no wife, if the person's alone, then he asks himself as well. Or if he has a friend there, his friend asks him. By a lot of families, all the kids ask, and they go around the table. Once again, everybody according to their custom. And then the head of the household, the one leading the seder, he starts explaining from Avad Mayinu, explaining everything, and he should explain it. It's not just a read-through. It's not just you're reading in Hebrew and nobody understands what they're saying. It's supposed to be read and explained. Read and explained. And if the person himself doesn't understand the Hebrew that he's reading, he should get one with the English translation. And if somebody needs one and doesn't have one and can't get a hold of one, there's an online one that I would be able to send them that they could print out before Pesach. And you'd have the English translation and you'd be able to know what you're saying and explain it. Especially when you reach Rabbi Gamliel, you used to say you have to say three things. Pesach, matzah, maror. You got to understand what you're saying. So at least these main focal points, you have to at least explain what it is that's going on. At the end of Magid, you're going to take the second cup. Now Ashkenazim make a blessing of Agafan on the second cup. Sfardim do not. You do not make, even if you have Ashkenaz Agadah for some reason, you do not make a blessing on that second cup. Only the first and the third. Second cup, you do not make the blessing Hagafen. There's a different blessing that you're going to say, that everybody says, but the blessing Hagafen you do not say. You make the bracha, which ends with a Gal Yisrael, lean to your left again, and you drink it. Now remember, leaning to the left is a very simple process. It's just leaning like this. You're drinking like this. Lean to the left. Yeah? You don't have to go ahead and try to figure out some contortion of your body that's not going to work out. It's simple. It's like this. And it makes sense when you're sitting like this, it's comfortable. Yeah, there's no, you don't have to go in some crazy leaning way. If you have a nice, comfortable chair with handles, it makes it even easier. But that's what it is. After Magid goes Rachza. Rachza, again, you wash your hands. But this time, you're going to make a bracha because this time you're washing your hands for the matzah. Now, motzi matzah are two different things. We say motzi matzah in the song. Motzi matzah. It's really two different blessings. So for motzi, you're making a blessing on the matzah the same like every Yom Tov. So what you're going to do is you're going to take all the matzot together, the top and the bottom, because you need whole ones for the first blessing. You take the top and the bottom with the one in the middle, and you're holding all three up together, and you make the beracha havamotzi. Then you're going to drop the bottom one, only hold the top one and the broken one in the middle, and you make the second beracha on matzah. That's what you're going to do. You then take a kazayit from the top one and the second one. Now the problem is, to give out a kazayit from both, from the top one and the second one, is impossible because our matzot are not exactly the matzot that were referred to in the days of the Gemara, and it's not possible to fully get them in that way. But what happens is you're going to go ahead, but you could take more matzot. You could take more. You don't need those specifically. Take more matzot, and the mitzvah is to eat two kazeitim. That first motzi matzah to eat two kazeitim. Now it's not easy eating two kazeitim. If one could eat two kazeitim, they should do it. If one cannot, then you still yotzeh with one kazayit. Now, one kazayit is different shitot, different shiurim. You should try to eat for the first kazayit at least a little more than half. If you're using a round matzah, a little more than half the matzah. For the second kazayit, you can be lenient. Basically, if you one matzah is two kazaitim, if you do the more stringent and the more lenient together, it winds up being two kazaitim. If you can, eat half the matzah, and you have one kazayit. After that, you have maror. Now, for matzah, you have to lean. Once again, that you have to lean. If you didn't lean, you're going to have to do a redo. And it has to be eaten kedei achilat pras. It has to be eaten within, there's a big argument what kedei achilat pras is, like everything else. It's between 2 minutes and 9 minutes. Chavadi says 7 and 9 minutes. So you have 7 minutes to eat the two kazaitim. He gives you a nice amount of time. Now, it shouldn't be that I'm eating and I'm taking a break. It's straight eating. Yeah, he holds you don't have to stuff your mouth. Right? Some people hold you have to eat the kazait in one shot. They chew it all up and they try to swallow it all at once, which is not easy to do. Yeah, he holds you don't got to do that. Eat in a normal pace and you get it all down in a normal amount of time. The next one is maror. Maror, you use whatever it is that you're using for maror. Either it's romaine lettuce or endives or horseradish, or there's other things that people use, all different kinds of greens and salads that you use. If you're using a greens, if you're using a lettuce-based object, then the leaves have to be moist when you're using them. When you're eating them, they have to be moist. Not wet, but moist. That means you make them a little wet beforehand. If you're eating just the stem can be either dry or moist. Now you have to eat a kazait of that as well, which is around the size of one big romaine lettuce. If you're using horseradish, it's a ground up horseradish. It's like the size, and most people don't use horseradish. And you can combine. You can use the horseradish together with the lettuce, right? It's this much horseradish, yeah, and you put it together with your lettuce, and you can eat it together, and it all combines. You can use different kinds together. You have to eat a kazayit, again, within the 7 minutes, and you do not lean from maro. We then do the next one is korach. Korach is your sandwich. The sandwich is the 2 pieces of matzah, and inside, again, you're going to have maro. Now, the maror, you're always going to dip in to charoset. That we didn't mention, but you dip the maror into charoset and you shake off the charoset. You shouldn't have a lot of charoset. It shouldn't take away the taste. The sandwich, you have the bottom matzah. Between the bottom and the top should be kazait. You don't need 2 kazait. 1 kazait between the top and the bottom, and you put a kazait of maror inside as well. Over here, you can already be slightly more lenient in the shiurim, but either way, you put it all together. And you take it and you eat it as a sandwich, and according to many, you should lean for korach as well. Once you're done that, you're done all the maror. You finish with maror. You're starting shulchan orech. Shulchan orech is the meal. That's you're hungry by that time. You had 2 cups of wine. You've had a lot of matzah. You had a lot of maror. You want something good to eat. Yeah, you're ready for your meal. So there are many people eat an egg by the seder. Some people eat it at the beginning of shulchan orech, and some people eat it all at the beginning of the meal. At the beginning of the seder before karpas. That is 2 shitot when you eat the egg, right? If you eat it in the beginning, right after karpas, then you make a shakol on it. But if you're doing it by the meal, you don't have to make a shakol on it, and they dip it in either salt water, again, or lemon juice or vinegar, whatever it is that you're dipping your stuff in, and that is zecher to the korban chagiga, right? We have 2 cooked objects, the egg and the cooked lamb shank or chicken wing, whatever it is that you're going to have on your seder plate. Those are the 2 things that we have. One zecher korban pesach that we're not going to eat, and one is zecher for the chagiga, and that we eat an egg. Generally, not from the seder plate. Everybody has their own little egg. Then you have your meal, whatever it is that you're going to eat. It's better to have a nice fatty piece of meat. If you don't like meat, eat chicken. Whatever it is, it should be a meat meal. It's not a dairy meal. It's a meat meal. After you're done eating, make sure not to fully stuff yourself. You can eat, but not fully stuff yourself. Then you're going to be up to the afikoman. Now, by the shulchan orech, some people lean, some people don't. You don't have to lean. If you want to lean, you're allowed. But you don't have to lean. It's not that you have to redo your meal if you didn't lean. It doesn't work that way. Then, when you're done your food, you have the afikoman. Now, remember the afikoman. The afikoman should be done before chatzot halayla. Best to be done before chatzot. If not, if you didn't make it for chatzot, you didn't make it. But it's best to be done by chatzot at night, which is usually around 1 something. And that's when you're going to eat your afikoman. Afikoman has to be a kazayit of matzah. Now, that matzah you put in that bag is not enough for kazayit for everybody around the table. So what you do is you take a little bit of that matzah and some other matzah and you give it out. Really, you should be eating 2 kazaitim at the end of your meal. 2 kazaitim for afikoman. That's ikar adin is 2 kazaitim at the end of the meal, 2 for motzi matzah, 1 for korach, 2 at the end for afikoman. That's only if you could. If you're so full that if you eat an extra kazayit, it's not going to work out, and you can't, then eat 1 kazayit. You need at least one kazayit. Try for 2, but at least 1. One who's sick or who has issues with the teeth and they can't chew the matzah, then they're allowed to put it in water beforehand to be able to eat it for the mitzvah, but as long as it doesn't take away from the actual tzudah, from the actual matzah that it is. And a regular healthy person should not do that to soften up the matzah for the mitzvah. Obviously, everybody really holds, besides Hasidim, everybody else holds that you're allowed to dip matzah into your soup or into bread or into water without a problem. It's only the Hasidim which are makpid in not dipping it in. After that, we have Birchat Hamazon. Now remember a few things. Number 1 is if you forget the afikoman, let's say you can't find it. Yeah, let's say your kid is very good at strong-arming you. He wants an amazing gift and you don't want to give it to him. So you could take any matzah. You don't have to give him, you don't really need that matzah that you put on the side. Any matzah really works for afikom. That's number 1. Number 2 is, if let's say you already said Havlan v'nevarech, you already went ahead and you already started. I'm about to do Bechat Hamazon. You wash my machronim, and then you remembered you forgot about the Afikoman. Yeah, your kid was very quiet. He thought you couldn't find it, and he didn't remind you. And then you remember, as long as you didn't start Bechat Hamazon yet, you go ahead and you can eat Afikoman without making a new Berachah Motzi, without rewashing your hands. You eat Afikoman without a problem. If you already made Bechat Hamazon and you didn't drink the cup yet, then again, you have to rewash your hands this time. You wash your hands, you eat a kazayit or 2 kazaytim of the afikoman, and then you make a new Bechat Hamazon. If you already made agafen, if the whole year you never do Bechat Hamazon on a cup, which most people don't, right? If you're just 3 people or even 1 person yourself, you don't do it. So therefore, again, you just wash your hands again, eat the afikoman, and do a second Bechat Hamazon. We then go ahead and we have a custom to fill up a 5th cup for the kosher Eliyahu, as it's called. It's because it's 4 lashonot of Geula. That's why we have the 4 cups. And there's the 5th one of Eveti, that is a machloket if you're supposed to have or not supposed to have. And our view it is teku, meaning when Eliyahu Navi comes, we'll ask him, should we drink the 5th cup or not? Right? Teku stands for Tishbi Yitaretz Kashot V'Yibavot. Eliyahu Navi, which is called Eliyahu Tishbi Yitaretz, will answer Kashiot, our question, V'Yibavot, and all our needs. And therefore we fill it up and let him answer us if we're supposed to drink it or not. And we go to the door, we open the door because the Leil Shimurim. It's the night that God is watching us and we don't have to worry about anything. So we go ahead and we open the door for everybody we're not afraid. Yeah, even Corona, not Corona, you can still open your door, yeah? You open your door, right? And people say, Ayona, he comes in or whatever, and we say, Shvoch HaMatcha, Lagoyim, Ashley, Datucha, V'Amamnachat Hashem, B'Simcha Lo Karo, right? You say, Shvoch HaMatcha, God should let out his wrath and anger against the non-Jews and bring the Gula basically for all of us. That's what we say. And it's a perfect night for it. The night of Pesach is a perfect night for the Gula to come. Perfect. So we go ahead and we go through that. And then we fill up the 4th and final cup and we say Hallel. And when we finish Hallel, we drink the final cup. And then we have Nirtzah, the Shana Babi Yerushalayim. And then there are Shir HaShirim, people say afterwards. And other songs, Chad Gadya, all these other songs that people have afterwards, after the Seder. And if one could sit up and talk about Mitzrayim the rest of the night, it's fine. But at that time, once you finish Nirtzah, anybody who wants to go to sleep is allowed to go to sleep. You want to stay up, you can stay up. Now, according to many, due to the fact that the Hallel that you're having during the Seder is cut in half, so therefore you should really make a Hallel before the Seder. Generally, it's done in the Bet Knesset after Arvit. We say Hallel, especially by the Edut HaMizrach, by the Nusach of the Sfaradim and by Nusach Sfar by the Ashkenazim. You say Hallel before the Seder. Even this year, hopefully the shuls will be reopened, but if they're not, then we still have to say Hallel before the Seder. We say the whole Hallel with a bracha. You say the entire Hallel. Now, starting the 2nd night of Pesach, starts Sfirat HaOmer. We're not going to go through all the halachot of Sfirat HaOmer right now. That we'll get to in another shiur. But just to remind everybody, Sfirat HaOmer is going to start the 2nd night of Pesach. And it's going to start them with a bracha. And you're going to be saying it every single night for the next 49 nights. If you miss a night, you can still say it the next day. And if you say it the next day, you can still say the rest of the nights with a bracha. If you miss a complete day and night, that means you missed the night and you forgot the next day as well, and it's the next night, you can no longer count with a bracha, but you still count. We'll go more into it and a special shiur for Sfirat HaOmer. Also, Mashiva Ruach Mordad Gashem also ends when Pesach begins, and you're going to start saying Morid Hatal, and on Chal HaMoed, you're going to go also, Baruch Aleinu is also going to change back to the summer months. No more saying Tal, Matal Vachat, just say Vachat, and go back to the summer months of the way that is. Once again, this shiur and all our shiurim for now are the Zchut Refuah Shalema for all the Jews that are suffering from the calamity of the coronavirus and all the Jews that are sick, as we said, including Yishaya Niv ben Yafatova, Yalev ben Chayesara, Yaakov ben Esther, Ophir ben Esther, Aviva Bad Nima, and many others, and everybody else. May they all have a Refuah Shalema Gemura. May we all Bezrat Hashem see each other. And once again, I miss everybody. The Bet Knesset is closed. It's terrible. May we all have an amazing week. May we all be Zochet to Gulashim this week and a beautiful Pesach all together in Yerushalayim. Amen.